Hey, what's going on, guys? The name is ExxotikGaming, and thanks for clicking on my video. If you've watched some of my videos before, you'll know I play a lot of different Battle Royale games on a regular day basis. These games range from PUBG Mobile, to Fortnite Mobile, to Rules of Survival, to even now, Call of Duty Mobile's brand new Battle Royale mode. Yes! Call of Duty Mobile just recently got released in a beta version, and today what we're going to be doing is comparing this amazing game side by side to a longtime champ, PUBG Mobile. Which game is better? Will PUBG Mobile finally be dethroned and placed in the number 2 position? I guess we'll find out. So yes, I hope you enjoy this video. I would greatly appreciate it if you took just 2 seconds and left a like down below, and subscribe to my channel for more PUBG and Call of Duty Mobile content. My next Call of Duty Mobile video will be out literally tomorrow, and my next PUBG Mobile video will be out a few days later. Turn on my post notifications, and let's jump into this. So, in order to make a fair comparison, we need to compare these games in a few different ways. Since this is a Battle Royale specific comparison, we're not going to take into account the other game modes these games have. We know PUBG is really a Battle Royale specific game, and Call of Duty has many different game modes, so if you compared them that way, it really wouldn't be too fair. So in terms of Battle Royale, what I've come up with is the following: in-game features, speed of gameplay, level of player engagement, FPP versus TPP modes, weapon physics, map features, customizability, and graphics. All of these different aspects will be addressed in depth, and hopefully from this, we'll come out with a clear winner on what Battle Royale is best. To start things off, let's get into overall in-game features of both games. If you've played these games before, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, both games have relatively similar weapons. Both games have something that flies over the map, and you can drop wherever you want. Both games have zones that get smaller and smaller and hurt you if you're left outside. Both have a battle pass, and both games have a common goal: for you or your team to be the last one standing. However, this is where their similarities end. PUBG Mobile, on one hand, is a very traditional, boots-on-the-ground Battle Royale with familiar features everyone can pick up quickly. Call of Duty Mobile, on the other hand, has many more aspects to make the game different. There are 6 default classes, for example, where you can have a default perk set to your player when you're with your team. One person can be the defender, who can place a shield down for his team. Another can be a medic and deploy a continuous healing station for his team in heavy gunfire. Even still, another can be a ninja and use a grappling hook to climb atop buildings fast. That's really cool. And who can forget you can upgrade these classes in-game? There are automatic, customizable callouts in the game between you, your teammates, and nearby enemies, providing a more immersive experience. It's like a much more advanced version of what PUBG has. And to add on top of all of this, Call of Duty Mobile has something called dog tag revives, where if a teammate gets killed, they have something called a dog tag appear on their body, and if you pick it up off your teammates, they can drop back down from a cargo plane that flies over the map every once in a while. Again, something very characteristic of Call of Duty games. However, PUBG does have some unique things too, and we can't shy away from that. Now we can talk about speed of gameplay. After playing PUBG for over a year, and Call of Duty Mobile extensively over the past couple of days, I can say one thing's for certain with both games: they are very intense. However, the way they're intense is very different. There is little to argue against the simple fact that PUBG Mobile is a much slower paced game. If you drop down into a relatively hot area, like Pachinki or Novo, you may find a few teams, yes, but after the beginning of the game, there will be a big span of time where you won't get that much action, on average. On average, that's the key. Only until much later, when the circle gets pretty small, will you encounter more enemies. On the other hand, on average, with Call of Duty's unique classes, new vehicles like a helicopter, and the overall more arcadey feeling to the game, this Battle Royale feels more fast-paced. Whereas with PUBG Mobile, you can expect a game to last upwards of 40 minutes or even longer. In Call of Duty Mobile, most of the time, games will last 20 minutes, give or take a few. However, that's not always a good thing. If you're wanting a more competitive experience, a longer match might prove to be more significant to you, and you'll want to try harder. Because of this, PUBG might be a little bit more competitive. Both games have similar looting mechanics, but loot is more prevalent in Call of Duty Mobile, so people will get weapons quicker and therefore the game is a little faster. Running speed is pretty similar, but if you have that ninja class setup, of course you'll be massively faster in Call of Duty Mobile. There are also a lot more vehicle spawns in Call of Duty Mobile on average as well, so I don't know. I want to hear your take on it. Do you like shorter matches or longer matches? In terms of player engagement, for your overall average player, I'd have to say that Call of Duty wins this one. Of course, there are pros who get super into PUBG Mobile and can play for hours on end, and I get that. I'm honestly probably one of those people who could play for hours on end and never get bored. But take a level 15 player in both games, for example. They aren't a pro, but just a casual gamer. You're going to look at a game like PUBG Mobile and see more basic things in it, more basic gameplay mechanics, and a slower match than in Call of Duty Mobile. I feel like for an average player, they'll be more gravitated toward Call of Duty Mobile because it has just more action. However, that's not always the case. For someone like me, as I said earlier, or a lot of the people watching this video, I actually like spending time enjoying the map and gearing up. I feel like PUBG Mobile really gets that aspect spot on. It's enjoyable to loot in the game, and that's not always the case in Call of Duty Mobile. Because of this, in the short term, people will probably be more interested in Call of Duty Mobile. There's really no denying that. But in the long term, though, I don't know if that feeling of needing to find action to stay happy will stick. With PUBG, since you're happy the entire match, even when you're not in action, that may prove to be better for it. We'll have to see what happens. Now, both games have TPP and FPP. Which game does it better? So, in this video, you've seen some gameplay from my Asus ROG phone. This is one of your top-of-the-line gaming phones, and it'll run both games as good as they can possibly be. You'll notice, though, that the gameplay isn't as smooth in third person on Call of Duty Mobile compared to PUBG Mobile. It's interesting to note this, because I actually feel the game runs smoother on first person in Call of Duty Mobile in contrast. However, FPP has no lag spikes in either game, so if you were to look at it both ways to play, it seems like PUBG wins this round. I guess it makes sense. It is the game that's been out for over a year. They've had bug fixes for over a year. Considering Call of Duty Mobile isn't even officially released yet, we have to give them some credits. I haven't found many bugs yet, and things are running really smoothly. They've done a great job. Weapon physics are very, very different with both games. Contrary to other Battle Royale games that have non-realistic weapon mechanics, both of these games strive to be somewhat realistic. If you were to snipe someone 300 meters away in both games, you'll have to lead your shot in both games. I actually feel like things are more difficult in Call of Duty Mobile because weapons are less accurate. Now, this could be because I am playing on an Indian server and I have a higher ping, but it's interesting regardless. Take an M4 in both games and try to hit someone from 400 meters away. If they're standing still, and this doesn't really have to do with ping at all, you could easily hit all of your shots in PUBG. But in Call of Duty, that's not always the case. This game takes into account that only snipers should be used at that range, and it'll limit what your other weapons are capable of. SMGs have to be used at close range, and you wouldn't be able to use a UMP comparable weapon in Call of Duty Mobile at long range. It simply won't hit the enemy. Call of Duty Mobile has an option for players to use auto-fire, which I am really not a fan of. PUBG Mobile doesn't, so big props to that. Now, both games have skins you can obtain and apply to your weapons to customize your gameplay experience a little bit more. I have to say, Call of Duty Mobile skins are probably going to look cooler over time, just because if I look at the skins of weapons in regular Call of Duty games, they're probably the coolest looking weapon skins out there. Both games have pretty similar attachments in-game from different sights to suppressors to extended mags, but Call of Duty has different rarity levels more similar to Fortnite. In PUBG, if you pick up an M4, it'll be the same rarity level to an M24, and that's all because guns are balanced around base stats. In Call of Duty Mobile, if you find a gold AS50 from an airdrop, you're way better off than someone with a gray XPR50. Guns are balanced based off of rarity, and the gold and purple weapons are therefore going to be the best. Sometimes, though, rarity isn't always a good thing. I know many people who played both Fortnite and PUBG for long periods of time and hate Fortnite because of the weapon rarities. So what do you think about it in Call of Duty? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know. Both games have great maps. Man, let me tell you, I really enjoy playing on both games because the maps are unique, refreshing each and every match, and big enough to make it so you don't have to elbow your way through enemies. Erangel in PUBG is my favorite map in that game, but we have to note that PUBG currently has several different maps. Erangel, Miramar, Sandhawk, and Vikendi. That's 4 different options, and you'd have a tough time getting bored of the game because of that. Call of Duty Mobile, on the other hand, has only 1 map, and there is a danger lurking around it. Players could get bored kinda quickly since that's the only one they can play on. However, the devs saw through this, and they ended up creating one of the coolest maps out there in a Battle Royale game. It's beautiful, there's no denying that. There are different regions like a grassland or desert region, like in Fortnite. I mean, Fortnite doesn't need another map. They just make the map dynamic and ever-changing, so what's to say Call of Duty doesn't do this as well? Call of Duty Mobile takes aspects from multiple different previous Call of Duty games, so they know the maps work well. That's definitely a major plus. There is so much loot everywhere in the maps, and crates spawn everywhere, providing even more goodies for us, so there's no shortage of exploration and interest in the Call of Duty Mobile map. I have to say though, for me personally, I like more maps better than 1. So I think PUBG wins this one. But what do you guys think? Now, customizability and graphics are very different on both games. I remember when I did a PUBG versus Fortnite video about a year ago now, I said how PUBG was the more realistic looking game out of the 2. But guess what? This has now changed. Call of Duty is by far the most realistic looking game out of the 3. It has in-game graphics never seen before on any Battle Royale game. Not a single one. Call of Duty Mobile has the best graphics out of any Battle Royale game, arguably out of any Battle Royale period, mobile, PC, console, etc., minus Battlefields and Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackouts. Customizability is a little different though. Both games allow you to customize placement of your controls, so you can play with your thumbs or claw method, whatever one you choose. And honestly, both games have such similar customizability, it's impossible to choose one over the other. PUBG and Call of Duty tie this round. In the end, both games are headed by the same company, Tencent. When the same company ends up supervising over the development of 2 different games, you end up with quite a lot of the same aspects. Someone who plays Call of Duty Mobile will pretty quickly learn how to play PUBG Mobile well, and someone who plays PUBG Mobile well will pretty quickly learn how to play Call of Duty Mobile well. That's a lot of wells, but you get the idea. Both games are incredible battle royales with tons of amazing features and unique things to make them stand out against all the other thousands of clones out there. If you have to choose one or the other, you can't go wrong with either. You'll enjoy both of them for hundreds and hundreds of hours. However, it does seem that PUBG Mobile has some catching up to do. As of right now, PUBG Mobile is still my favorite battle royale, but that could be subject to change if the developers don't get it in gear very soon. When you compare all the features each game has, it seems Call of Duty Mobile one-ups PUBG in almost every different aspect. There really isn't much PUBG has that Call of Duty doesn't have. If PUBG doesn't start to make itself different and unique compared to Call of Duty, it may meet an unhappy fate. I'm hoping that won't happen though, and both games will continue on being developed into more and more incredible mobile battle royales with super unique aspects on both sides of the table and providing players with two great options for fun, competitive mobile games. In the end, which game is better? I can't say, but if these two games stay where they're at right now, and the developers of Call of Duty Mobile fix all their bugs, Call of Duty Mobile will actually probably be the winner. For now, it's not though. It's a tie, but the clock is ticking. Which game is your favorite Battle Royale? Let me know down below. With that being said though, we're finished with the video. I hope you all enjoyed this video. It took a long time to make, so I'd greatly appreciate a like rating down below. Subscribe to my channel for more awesome PUBG and Call of Duty content. A lot of it is coming very soon this summer. And don't forget to turn on my post notifications. Thanks for sticking around until the end, and I'll see you guys later.